Welcome to my ocean resin tutorial today using real sand and seashells. My name's Tracey. I've mixed some sand that I've collected from my local beach in with some PVA Craft Glue. The glue is acid free so it won't yellow over time. I immediately start placing the seashells into the composition while the glue is still wet. When I was done, I then placed the entire canvas outside in the direct sunlight for the rest of the day. And then I let it dry further 24 hours indoors the following day. So I had about 2 days or even 2.5 days of full drying before I wanted to apply that resin. I'm choosing art resin because it's safer than other brands. It doesn't have any fumes and it's non-toxic. I also love it because it's really good at creating lacing in those waves. After letting the resin sit in the cup for about 15 minutes to thicken, I start pouring my first coat. And for the first layer, I'm just using clear resin. This is to just get a wet sand look. I let this first layer dry for about 6 to 7 hours before applying the second coat. The resin was starting to harden and it was tacky. The two pigments from Just Resin that I'm using are Turquoise Lustre and Titanium White. And Pearl X Powder pigment is the duo Aqua Blue. And it's important not to add more than 5% pigment to the resin. Now that they are mixed, I'll let them sit for 15 minutes before pouring, just to thicken that resin a little bit. I poured that clear liner a little bit higher than I'd like because I knew that it would move down. It always runs down. My white's a little bit on the runny side, so I'm adding a bit more pigment. I'll just keep adding more white until I'm happy with how this wave's looking. Watching it back, I can see that I should have let my white resin and pigment sit in that cup for a bit longer, maybe 10 minutes to thicken it up before creating the wave, because I can see that it's a little bit on the runny side, and that's why I'm having a bit of difficulty building it up to a nice thick three-dimensional look. And because that layer underneath was pretty firm, I was able to wipe some of that off. I then let it completely dry overnight, and the next day when it was hard, I sanded it back before applying the second wave. Sanded it back so that the resin has something to stick to. The resin ran down a little bit too far for my liking, so fortunately, because the layer underneath was completely dry, I could just get a plain piece of tissue and paper towel and wipe that off. I like it when the wave washes around the shells, so I'm going to create some of that in the corner. After about 2 hours, I then came back and fixed that little bit there in the corner. And it's complete. Well, I really hope you enjoyed watching this and you gained something from this video. Please let me know your feedback, any suggestions or anything else in the comments. Thank you so much.